Hello, families. I'm Shannon Finley. I'm the K through 5 ELA curriculum coordinator for the Walpole Public Schools, and I'm partnering with first grade teachers in order to provide you with some support in terms of strategies and skills that we use in the classroom that students will be familiar with and that hopefully you might want to give a go at home. We appreciate so much all of the learning that you're encouraging your children to do and supporting them at home. And we're hoping that these few strategies make your life a little bit easier and hopefully bring some comfort to your child as they see things that are familiar to them. So I'm going to share my screen and just kind of walk you through a couple of things that we share in first grade. So one of the things that we encourage kids to do when they're reading and spelling words is tapping. So that could be used, and I'll walk you through that. Skywriting is another strategy that we teach kids in order to remember what we call trick words or sight words, words that they can't tap or sound out. And then the most important is that we try to get them to connect what we're teaching them in phonics into their actual reading and daily writing. So just to kind of walk you through a couple of things in terms of tapping. What I mean by tapping is when a child gets to a word like this, instead of us jumping in and reading it for them, if they say, I don't know how to read this word, what is this word? What we could say is try to tap it out. And so what that means is we want them, we could say elbows up, you might try that at home, and then tap out each individual sound of the word. So they would say, cup, and then blend that together, right? And so here's another example of a word that would be common for them to try to read in first grade. So again, instead of saying them asking us how to spell that, read that word, and we tell them, we might say first, like try to tap it out. And so hopefully they would try b, oo, ah, blast, right? The same idea goes for spelling. So when they're writing a word, instead of us being the walking dictionaries or you at home being the walking dictionaries, we don't want to just, we want to foster that independence for our students and our children. So what we might say, if they say, how do you spell ship? We might say, tap it out, right? And again, we would hope that they would say, sh, eh, and then write SHI. Right? Another first grade example might be the word spend. So they may say, how do you spell spend? Instead of me answering, I might say, tap it out. And again, spend, S-E-E-N, spend. So when we have words, not every word that we're reading or writing can be tapped out or sounded out. So we also teach them trick words. We call them trick words in foundations, but they're also known as sight words or high frequency words, words that you come across a lot in your reading that you want to just know in a snap. And so instead of, they're called a trick word because you can't, it's not going to follow that tapping rule that I just showed you, right? So I can't just tap out the word many because many doesn't follow the phonetic rule, right? It's not ni, right? The word is many, kind of breaks the rule. So we teach them, and one thing you could try, and I'm sure your teachers have given you flashcards with these words. That's a great strategy to kind of have them practice the flashcards. They could paint the words, they could build the words if you have magnetic letters, write them with chalk, anything to kind of make it engaging and fun. And another thing that we teach is called skywriting. So when we skywrite the word, we have our arm out straight. We say no spaghetti arms. And we teach them to really picture the word in their mind and then make the letters with their pointers, or we say their pencil, right? And so if I was saying, okay, write the word, let's skywrite the word many. First, we sometimes have them close their eyes. So make the word M-A-N-Y, many, right? And then I would say, close your eyes and see if you can still write it. And they would try again. M-A-N-Y, why many. It's a way to involve the body. In research shows that if we can involve the body in ways like that, it can help with remembering those words. So that's another thing that you could try at home if your student is having trouble or your child is having trouble with just remembering the flashcards through remembering the trick words through the flashcards. And then finally, why we do all of this is to help them become a better reader or a writer, right? And so some of the things that you can think about with reading and writing, and it can be tricky at home to have books that your first grader can read, right? And again, first graders, they're they're in such a wide range of readers and writers. Some are really at the beginning stages of tapping out words and really figuring out how language works. And then we have some first graders that are reading chapter books. And so you know your child best and providing them with some reading material at home. And I know the teachers are providing with a great amount of online reading that kids can do. But if you're looking for some books, these are some great ones. They're through Scholastic, and I know Barnes and Noble has them as well. This series, Acorn, is really engaging for our, first grade, second grade readers. And so a book like this is fun to read. Of course, always read. You can read aloud to them. If they don't want to read to you, then I strongly encourage you to read to them. I think every child deserves to be read to, whether they're in first grade or they're, in middle school or high school. But books like this are great for them to then practice reading on their own. So for example, this book is Hello Krabby. And then you'll notice in the book, there are a lot of words that are either trick words, so words that they'll be knowing and learning, or words that they would be able to sound out, right? So today is just another day at the beach. Day would be an easy one for them to sound out. Today, is, at, the, another. Those are all our trick words. Just would be a word that they could tap out. And then beach would be the only tricky word on that page because they may not yet know the double vowel rule here. So this is a great series that you could read with your child, or read to your child, or have them be reading independently if you're looking for a book. This is another great series that is on Amazon. Bullfrog Books, if your children like nonfiction reading. Again, some of the words in here are either words that they can sound out, kind, get, even hamster, even though it's a multisyllabic word, they could sound that out. And then a lot of the trick words and not a lot of print on the page. This would be another great series if you're looking for something. And then in terms of connecting to writing, really just encouraging them to be an independent writer and get the pencil to the paper and sound out those words. Another thing that we'll tell them is to really stretch out those sounds. So if they were trying to write a word like monster, right? We, instead of, again, us jumping in and spelling, and that's going to be a tricky one for them to tap out, we would just say, stretch out those sounds and see what you hear. And even in first grade, we might get something like this, and we would celebrate that approximation, right? Because they're really listening to the sounds that they hear, right? So celebrate everything and anything that they're doing in terms of reading and writing is great. Again, we so appreciate everything that you're doing at home. Please reach out to me or your classroom teachers for more information, or if there's any other way that we can help you and your child during this difficult time. So great to see you, and I hope to see you soon.